middle of May in 2026, just after Mother's Day weekend. It's been kind of cool and wet this year so far. We're starting on the southwestern side because I've just done a lot of little tweaks. Took down the ugly chicken wire trellis that we had here. You know, I like to repurpose things, and I just had enough because I never really loved the look of it, and I kind of wanted something to match. So now I have these two trellises kind of filling up this blank area. I need to finish washing the siding and the tanks, but my back faucet isn't turned on yet, so I was just doing what I could with the watering can. This garden is always evolving. I have no permanent design, and I kind of like to have it that way. I am pleasantly surprised we have a hosta that survived coming back, one of the bowl damaged ones. Little geranium transplants here. When I originally had geraniums, they were over in the garden there by that purple pot, and some roots had been left, so I dug those up. And I had moved this iris, and I just moved this geum over here that was also over where the geraniums had been. This clematis is going to be beautiful this year. I'm glad I did a hard cut back last year. I think I can pull this black wire down. That was from our old satellite. And I probably am going to get a short little garden fence to fill in hiding those ugly utilities. But what are you going to do? It's in the morning, so we're still in the shade over here, but kind of cleaning things up so it's not such a random mess. I dug up the globe thistle that's been here forever. I didn't really need it over here. I moved it to the back so I could use it for cutting. So we mostly have different colored echinacea. This is the Kinsley Ghost honeysuckle I transplanted from the front trellis of the deck that was planted last year. I had been second guessing it because I knew it was going to get really large, and I'd rather have it fill in this blank space. I would love to find a permanent home for these irises, but they are beautiful in the pot too. My little catmint hedge is coming along. I love the volunteer pulmonaria. I should transplant that while it's little. I need to continue cutting back the butterfly bush. I was using smaller pruners and just haven't come back. I really should treat my phlox preventatively for the powdery mildew, since I know that's always a problem. So this is the pretty tall pink one, and over here is the purple flame or flame pro that also was in the garden where this Kinsley's Ghost was at the front of the house. And it's beautiful, but it's always kind of hidden in there. So I'm basically working on cleaning and simplifying over here. This hellebore is really nice. Another project is masking this hideous mess. Obviously, we've had multiple versions of internet, cable, and they don't remove their old boxes, so I need to come up with a screen of some sort because that's just disgusting. I finally cleaned this bed up. I had left all the roots and plant matter from last year, just cleaned that up this week. These guys survived. I don't know where I want to put them, so that had been a vole damage. Of course, I don't know which one that is. And that's the little, I don't remember the name of it, the little cute pink flowers. Thrift, maybe? Greenhouse is up. I've got some plants that I've already purchased chilling out in there because we have a couple nights it'll be in the 30s. Not a lot of seedlings. I'm really embarrassed by my seedlings this year, so we're not even going to look at those closely. I think the soil was not great that I used, and I didn't feed them often enough. My big project this weekend was my deer fence. It's always kind of my Mother's Day thing. I've decided from now on I'm just going to leave the back side up all the time, and it doesn't really bother me, and just the front will keep changing. And I did extend it all the way down to the memorial garden. I've always let the deer kind of do whatever, and decided, you know, why even have the plants if I'm just gonna like throw them away to the deer. So you'll see I do have a new cross in there because I did lose my dog over the winter. And still having a hard time dealing with that. Not ready for another one because she was just the best companion ever. But the plants are looking okay. The deer did eat down the lilies at the end already, and they're flushing out. Did lose a lot of hostas because of the voles, and I knew that was going to happen. But I'm really going to try this year. I can do it. I know I can. So these are a lot of the divisions, the Cross of Regal, and of course I didn't label some of them. Hopefully I said in the video when I moved them what they are. But they do still heave because I didn't have them planted super deep because it's so hard over here. This one's the Colored Hulk, which looks really nice, but I need to put some soil around the roots. Looks like all my boxwoods did not fare so well. I was going to plant a bunch of new ones this year, but now I don't know if I should, or if I should just maybe plant some little, build some little structures to protect them maybe. I don't know. I should really get inside the fence. It'd be easier to showcase this. Let's see. Oh, squeeze under this. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've lost this hydrangea. There's only a handful of buds on it. And that was nibbled by the deer in the fall, and another one that I had planted in the back there I lost completely, so I don't know if it's because I didn't plant it deep enough or what exactly I did wrong. And this was new. Kind of sad how much that suffered. Hopefully Incredible will have a fighting chance. I do need to secure the bottom of this fence and extend it with another little stretch of fencing. Because a lot of the plants got heaved up, I did get some cheaper compost to cover some root balls. But we gotta see what survived and what didn't. It's funny because some things I didn't think survived, like this cool as a cucumber. I thought was a goner for sure. No, it's popping up now. So that's a treat. This will be a new pulmonaria, shrimp on the Barbie. I have a great new plant supplier at work with some natives. So I wasn't planning on buying a bunch of plants to fill in back here, but because I have lost a fair amount due to the voles, I'm contemplating trying some different varieties. So I have a wagon full of those I haven't brought home yet. And these are all the hostas I lost last year. Well, not cool as a cucumber, but Island Breeze, Blue Mouse Ears, Golden Tiara, I think Blueberry Muffin, but I had divided that, so I might have saved a piece further down. Touch of Class, she's gone, but that's how it goes when you have a vole, lots of voles. We're gonna look at this hellebore, it's because she's been shining for a very long time. And this solid pulmonaria, so pretty. But I really do like the variegated leaves better. And the variegated Solomon seals coming back. A pleasant surprise. These I had slid down last year and kind of cleaned up this trench quite a bit. Here's where I had the other miniature quick fire planted. Did not make it. And prior I had the snake eyes hosta with the virus, so I can't do another hosta there, which is fine because we know the voles love this area. And I have already put down vole repellent and deer repellent. Another hellebore, gone by, but still pretty. So I might as well appreciate those. I did make a division of June Spirit because that was very, very thick. One of my favorites. Actually, maybe I should move this geum over by the propane tank with the other one. And praying hands, I thought for sure that wasn't going to return, and she made it. They're so pretty when they're first popping up, bright. As I said last year, I had wanted to move the goat's beard, which I did. It was back in the gardens that we just kind of breezed past. So he has some room to breathe. Here's the June spirit that we divided. You'd never even know I took a chunk out of it. My new bird bath I bought myself for Mother's Day. It's a Henry Studio. Super cute. I haven't filled it up. That's just rainwater from last night. Hoping the Sun King bounces back nicely, because that looked really nice, and I tucked in a flower pot kind of in this blank space with some begonias, and I'd like to recreate that. It looked very nice. Another one I do need to move, because I have moved most of the ones I said I wanted to and transplanted them, is this Hudson Bay, because the Sun King actually gets really, really large and kind of fills in a little too much and hides the Hudson Bay. Pink-a-blue's looking great. And all of my forget-me-nots just make me so happy. Peeking in. And a lot of the columbine are reseeding nicely. None have come to bloom yet, but we're getting there. That'll be pretty. I'd filled in a little bit of mulch here just to make it easier for me to walk back to these gardens. And I was going to make kind of a little path. We'll see. And I put the deer fence out further, so it's easier for me to just get in here and work, not have to compact the soil by walking through it all the time. I can weed whack a little bit clearer. But yeah, that's a large gap at the bottom, so I am going to have to string something else there. Not that the deer couldn't jump this if they wanted to. I'm hoping because it's a little bit narrower, it might deter them. But deer are pretty persistent and athletic and go after what they want. Oh, this was the June Spirit division. I'm going to make a proper plant tag. I flipped that one around just so it would remind me to make one. A little sad the Brunner aren't very large, but I had transplanted some of them, so I guess that's to be expected because they were moved around. What else has changed back here? More things kind of returned than I thought they would. I have this all open in the front, which could be an opportunity for some annuals. I am going to go heavy with the impatiens, maybe begonias, but impatiens for sure, and some coleus, because I need to stick with what I know works back here and kind of keep it simple. Stop just bringing things home because they're pretty. Another pink-a-blue. And these hostas that always just get destroyed year after year, whether it's voles or deer. But now that I have the fencing extended, hopefully I can actually preserve things a little bit better. And Diamond Lake never, ever, ever gets to live a full season. It's always eaten or something happens to it. What else? We have some more small Solomon seal popped up there. Astrantia. The meadow rue. Hopefully something happens with that this year. We'll see. And get a little duck down. Good old butterbur filling in like it should. I don't even know if this is worth moving. I guess I could because the butterbur is eating it alive. Oh, there's one bloom left. Solomon seal looking beautiful. So you can see I've upped my deer game, deer fencing game. I extended it so this entire area is going to be more secure. Again, the deer could easily jump in here, and I'm sure they will. boy, I bought a lot of fence posts this year, and let me tell you, they can cost you some money when you're getting 7-foot posts. But I gotta do it. Why else would I want to keep planting if I'm just going to keep feeding the deer, right? I mean, I've been here long enough to know how it goes. This bed held a lot of plants in pots over the winter. I kind of tucked them in with leaves and manure. And what was in there sort of survived. My lovely evergreen back there, I'm so sad, did not make it. I'm really surprised because that would have been so darn cute. But this is my blueberry bed. They are all low bush. At least these guys are. This one is not. And this one is jelly bean. That's been in a pot for 2 seasons, so I really would like to get that out. I might just cram it in here because in the wild, the bushes really do grow close together. So this bed in the past has always kind of just been this awkward little like dumping zone where I would stick annuals and random shrubs I don't know what to do with. So I do have this hydrangea is on the outside of the fence. It didn't kind of fit into here. But I don't know, I might come up with something else. So what I've done is, this is a side note, my only lamium that has really survived. I used to have a lot more, and that's the only stuff that's a lot around still. All of my geraniums that had been in the front of this garden last year, I did transplant them, so they're all over here. There are 3 different varieties. Of course, I don't remember what they all are. I know that several of the plants are this one, the hardy geranium, which is, the pink. Roseanne is my favorite. That's the purple that blooms all summer. And then there is another light pink one in there somewhere. This is a spirea. And hydrangeas that were in that blueberry bed over the winter. I'm devastated, but I don't think, they did not. Oh, what a waste. These were those beautiful dark eclipse hydrangeas. They did not make it. Oh, that makes me sad. And these 2 minis did make it. They're the little hottie, which is good because the little quick fires that I planted did not do as well as these. But they do have some buds. This I've been working on today because it has looked terrible. I've kind of ignored things. So I have many irises that I bought in impulse last summer because I am trying to do the perennials around the edge. So we've got iris, comfrey, my stock, which is an embarrassment. I've never had such unhealthy looking stock seedlings. Everything else in here reseeded as far as bachelor's buttons and larkspur. I did cold sow nigella, so that is what these seedlings are. I should label them before I forget because I'm going to assume that they're larkspur. We also have a couple of, what is the cute little white ones that I love? Not comfrey. The cute little white flowers, I like to cut those. Those have done well. I did transplant another peony back here because I done one last fall, and surprisingly, this is the one I planted here last fall. This is the one I transplanted this spring. I'm not sure why, because it's so much more exposed, that's why it's smaller. Maybe I planted it too deep. Maybe the soil's more compact. I'm not sure, but I'm happy that they will be getting the sun that they deserve. Tomato cages are holding spots for potential tomatoes. I'm going to put some veggies back over here to try to rotate crops. These are the Rudbeckia that I had started from seed several years ago that were at the front of this garden. So I have one here, one over there, and I did put one little stumpy one over here behind the peony. Because they get tall, I'm hoping they'll look more intentional as a backdrop. And as I was saying, I'm trying to rotate because this has been snapdragons for, I don't know, 3 seasons at least over here. And I always get those little dark beetles. And it is pretty shady over here, and the snaps do fine. But I'm gonna see if I can get some zinnias going, more so towards the front where they're gonna get a fair amount of sun. Because I haven't had zinnias here in years, so I'm trying to switch it up. The only other cold sow success was some sweet peas. Those just went in the ground. Oh, my little asparagus. I always forget about that in here. Should have picked it and eaten it. So hopefully 3 more tomatoes here. I do have some lilies, an iris. The deer did come through and eat all of the iris earlier this season. And that is one of the globe thistle that I moved from the side of the house. And the other one is still over there. I had moved that last season. And I finally got a new rake. That was a Christmas present. It's beautifully heavy duty. And I did extend out the front of these beds because there was quite a bit of a drop off. It's always wet. It's been tight to work in here. So I'm not sure if I will be planting in the front because it's mainly just manure. I do need to add some kind of soil in there. Still wet because it is May. So some other changes happening over here. I extended the fencing by adding another panel in the front and then pushed it out and pulled in my last extra panel. So I now have an L of chain link, even though it doesn't all match. I took down the cattle panel for the sweet autumn clematis because one side of it completely died down. It was the left side that was over here. And I just have one little remnant remaining. We'll see what that does. Because last year I was really confused because it looked like there were 2 plants growing. And after doing some inspecting this morning when I was putting that new trellis up, there was, I think it's called arrow leaf violet was what that other plant was. It was kind of completely dominating the sweet autumn. I do have more pine straw. We were getting rid of that. So I said I would take some as mulch. This is kind of pathetic. A little bit of leafing out on this guy. This is one of the tiny quick fires. Like very, very little buds. I guess I'm gonna have to prune off basically half of the plant. The hostas that were all over here, the voles got everything. Some kind of rootstock is remaining because there's a little bit of something popping up there. And I forgot about that. Oh, you know what else I lost over here? My lime catmint is gone. That was new. Oh my goodness, but these, my snowdrops. Oh, those are just so beautiful. They're the only ones that I have. I love them. Okay, over here, where I had 2 peonies. So there was 1 peony that was there. That's the one that I moved to the back garden. There was another one here that had been moved. So there are these 2. We'll see how they do this year. They may end up going over there with their friends. I thought I lost this astilbe, but there's a little bit coming back because the voles found that. This is the tansy I've been talking about moving for years. It was growing behind those peonies, and obviously it prefers to be in full sun, so it was just always dominating the peonies, looking kind of trashy. The surprise lily foliage, we'll see if those bloom. Probably not getting enough sun either. I need to complete this fencing. This is the last area I've got to work on. I think I'm going to do cucumbers in here this year. My one Sanguisorba that the voles ate last year, and I'm trying really hard to salvage. It's coming back because I put it in here. So I gotta dig that up to finish filling the beds for the cukes or whatever I decide. I do have some dahlias started this year, but they are the smaller bed dahlias, not the larger ones. I don't know if I dare even put them over here because the voles found them last year. These are my only onions that survive. They are all red onions with the exception, I think, of one yellow. That's pretty pathetic. And this is the Sweet Autumn clematis, the only remaining piece. So all of this was that arrow leaf violet. I just dug up a giant clump of it this morning. This hibiscus, now that I've kind of cleaned up this area, maybe this is the year that I'll move that hibiscus, but it seems to be okay. Like it's wet enough and doing its thing. So this is where I had the cattle panel arch. Like this is where the other side of it was. And the other clematis that we'll see if something comes out of it. This was the root ball. So I don't know, that stuff's supposed to be really hardy, so maybe it will come to life. We'll see. And I think that's a salvia I planted last year. This is another hibiscus that every year seems to show its face. I don't know if it'll come back or not. The lilies that the deer eat, the daylilies. The face flower, daylilies. I cleaned up a lot of this scrub last fall. I feel like it's so much better. It's cleaner looking. Where's the Joe Pye weed? Oh, did I lose that? It was in this region. Lilies, lilies. That stinks. It was there earlier this year when I was checking on things. That's a shame. I'm just gonna check these violets. They caught my eye. Oh, these are the traditional violets. They're not the arrow. Huh. Oh, this is a peek at like the behind the scenes. This is where we clear cut a bunch of scrubby little fallen down storm trees. And it's just my debris pile now. And this is where the deer like to sneak in and think they're hiding. And then they come along and eat whatever they can. Oh, it's so nice to have the sun. It's been pretty cool. Not fantastic lately. I'm pretty excited about the amount of work I've done up here. Not a lot to see just yet, but that's where the Kinsley's ghost was. I replaced it with another purple clematis. So now we have the multi-blue. That one is the president. And I dug up that purple phlox from here. That was in that area. I'm pretty sure, is that Datura seedling or is that a weed? I've been getting a lot of clumpy weeds lately. That's the Centaurea that I've allowed to kind of infiltrate the bed again. My original Japanese maple is coming back still. Makes me so happy. I just love the shape of that one. This side, we have done a lot of work. I finally removed the cotton Easter shrubs that I used to always call barberry. So I'm pumped. That was a lot of work. But I dug up all 4 of those. And I'm just getting it ready for annuals essentially. This is still very, very crooked. And since there's nothing underneath it, I think I'm going to ask for one of my boys to help me kind of loosen up the roots a little bit and stake it down, because I've had stakes to do it. It's just been really tight working in there, and it is a lot of work. There's surprisingly a fair amount of roots to that thing. More Centaurea, that's kind of taking over. I might have to move a clump or 2 of that. So this will all be sun patience in the front, because I know that it works really well here. And probably coleus in the back, since I've gotten rid of those shrubs. However, I just made an agreement with a friend of mine who's an arborist. This tree's coming down. It is an ash, and branches have been breaking on it year after year. And he says, yeah, she's not healthy and it really should come down. Like, it's not dangerous, but every year it's just getting bigger and bigger. The fact that the roots are on the surface, it casts an immense amount of shade here as well. So this all used to be full sun, because this is essentially the south side of my house. And she's gonna go, and I don't know how I feel about it. It makes me very sad, because I like how the branches are kind of sweeping. It offers good shade. However, I can plant something prettier there, I guess. And because my yard is so wet, the next question is, do I plant something like a birch that will help suck up the excess water? But then birch aren't super strong, so am I going to worry about that all the time? Or do I just keep it a small garden and do some ornamental plants? I don't know, it's a big change, and it makes me kind of sad, but I think it's the right thing to do. I don't know. It's going to happen either way. So this will essentially become all full sun again. And the sun patience will tolerate that. I'll do the proven winners coleus, so that'll tolerate the sun as well. And we'll just do annuals for now until I figure out if this is going to become a complementary garden, so I can make like a little path through here, because that would be kind of cute to like have a little, I don't know, path mirroring it. And honestly, my well probably needs to be redone, because that's a nightmare full of moss. But it's not one thing, it's another. And not a lot to see here. I have cleaned it up. We get the trellis for the Rigucci. I still have a fantasy of putting some kind of paneling there so you don't see under the deck and leaves don't blow underneath it like they do. This phlox I really should treat for powdery mildew. And there is campanula down there. I'm excited for the alliums to pop out too. And my other Japanese maple, this is the butterfly. Looks like she's gonna come back okay too. So here we are, beginning of May. And it was a slow start for me, because like I said, I've lost my garden companion and it was really hard for me to even be out here, but the sun has brought me out, and there's just a lot of opportunity, and it's always fun to listen to the birds, right?